Hi everyone! In this video we are going to deal with the reading comprehension, so I'm just going to give you some suggestions. First of all, let's have a look at the 3 questions you've got here in this first exercise. You were asked when and where this reading passage is set. You have a question about the genre, that is it a romance, a horror story, or a crime story? Is it fact or fiction? Now, actually, the reading passage is a quite famous story. If you read the heading, title, you will easily remember what it is about: the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Even though you haven't read it, I'm sure you know something about it because it is pretty famous. But nonetheless, I would like you to have a look at the pictures you've got, because this story is told as if it were a kind of comic strip. So you have pictures and some captions under the pictures and the speech balloons. So before reading the passage, and I would like you to do it aloud, as I always suggest when you tackle a reading exercise, try and imagine what is going on by describing what you see in the pictures, all of them. Once you've done this, you can listen to the text and then read it aloud yourself. Then, I'm sure you have noticed that I have highlighted some of the words you've got here. This is because I would like you to do what I think is the most useful exercise when you are dealing with a reading exercise. I would like you to be able to give definitions for these words. The first one is quite well known, I think. Lawyer. But even though you already know this word, still try and make sure that you can describe it, that you can give a definition for it. The same goes with ugly, evil. Then you've got regret. This is used as a noun, but it can be both a noun and a verb. Then you've got mad and witnessed. This is in the past, so try and be able to give a definition for its infinitive, which is to witness. This word can be both a noun and a verb. Then you have locked. Again, it is in the past, so give a definition for the infinitive, which is to lock. Be careful, it is not look, but lock. And this is our last word. But I would like to add something else, which is at the end. Okay, here it is. You've got this very useful expression, which is to get rid of something. So please try and be able to give a definition for this expression here. And now let's listen to the text.
Tape script 9.10. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. London, 1886. Late one night, A lawyer, Gabriel Utterson, was walking home through dark, silent streets when he saw a man attacking a woman. Utterson ran after him and caught him. The man's name was Mr. Hyde, and he looked ugly and evil. 2. Mr. Hyde showed no regret for what he had done. To buy the woman's silence, he wrote her a check. Give this to the wretch. Utterson noticed that the check was signed in the name of Dr. Jekyll, a well-known and well-respected man. 3. Utterson was worried. He was Dr. Jekyll's lawyer and also his friend. He went to visit him. As soon as he mentioned Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll turned pale and became angry.
My position is very strange. I cannot explain.
Utterson was confused. Who was Mr. Hyde? 4. A year passed. One night, an old man was murdered as he was walking home. A maid witnessed the crime and recognized the killer. Mr. Hyde had struck again. The police went looking for Hyde, but he had disappeared. 5. Again, Utterson went to visit his friend Dr. Jekyll. He suspected that Dr. Jekyll had helped Mr. Hyde to escape. When questioned, the doctor replied in a strange, wild voice that Mr. Hyde had gone forever.
Hyde will never return!
6. Over the next few weeks, Dr. Jekyll's behavior became more and more unusual. He locked himself in his laboratory and refused to open the door. His servants were worried. When they heard his voice, it sounded different.
'Go away and leave me alone.'
Was that my master's voice?
They asked Utterson for help. 7. Utterson and the servants broke down the door. Mr. Hyde was lying dead on the floor.
It's Mr. Hyde!
No, it's Dr. Jekyll!
He had taken poison. But why was he wearing Dr. Jekyll's clothes? And where was the doctor? Were Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde one and the same person? 8. On the desk was a letter addressed to Mr. Utterson. In it, Dr. Jekyll tried to explain himself. He said he believed that inside every human being there was a good side and an evil side. 9. Jekyll had created a potion. When he drank it, his whole body changed.
God help me!
I'm changing.
The good, kind doctor became cruel, ugly, and evil. He called this other man Mr. Hyde. To change back, he had to drink another potion. 10. But after a time, Jekyll found that he liked changing into Mr. Hyde. He enjoyed being bad. He became more and more violent and cruel.
Like that!
He took pleasure in hurting innocent people. 11. Finally, Dr. Jekyll couldn't control Mr. Hyde anymore. He began to change into this monster, even without taking the potion. Jekyll hoped and prayed that Hyde would disappear.
God, help me!
But Hyde always returned. The potion to turn Hyde back into Dr. Jekyll no longer worked. It had lost its strength. Dr. Jekyll could no longer get rid of the evil Mr. Hyde. He had to kill this monster. But to kill Mr. Hyde, Dr. Jekyll also had to die.
I can live in this world no more.
Right, so this is the recording, and now I would like you to read the passage yourself aloud. I've just realized that I forgot one of the words I had highlighted, which is wretch. This is not so common, so I'm not sure you know this word. Please make sure that you understand it and try and be able to give a definition for it. Now you can do the exercises you've got on this page. The first one is quite easy. You just have to label the characters. So once you have listened and then read the text, it will be easy to write the names of these characters. Then you've got some questions. Please try and answer them, and then you can check by reading the solutions. Here they are. You can pause so you can read them at ease. And now let's get back to our book. In our last video, we talked about some adjectives that describe feelings, and here they are in the list you've got in this box. This is the vocabulary, a vocabulary item that can be useful when you are telling a story, because this is the topic, the vocabulary topic in this unit. In the exercise you've got here, the two main topics in this unit are tried to be linked. That is the vocabulary, that is the adjectives we've just talked about, and then the past perfect. So I would like you to try and do this exercise where you just have to finish the sentences by using a past perfect tense. In my next video, you will be able to listen to the recording you've got here so that you can compare your choice.